You only have a few minutes to live, but every time you breathe, the clock resets. Hello Nerd Squad, welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. I'm your host Connor Monroe, and today we're pulling everything out of the comic closet and investigating the changes over the years. Make sure you like and subscribe for more nerdy content and ring the notification bell to be notified about our uploads, cause that's how you get here early enough to think that you're first. Without further ado, let's get into this video of the top 10 supervillain makeovers that went too far. Number 10, MODAAK. MODAAK is MODAAK from Earth 65, but with one key change. Political commentary. If America will not act, MODAAK must. MODAAK stands for Mental Organism Designed as America's King and was created when Donald Trump joined the radical scientific group AIM. At some point, AIM began to forcibly conscript people to assist them in building a wall along the border between Texas and Mexico. But luckily, their operation was shut down by Captain America. Political climate aside, this is one hell of a makeover. Changing freaking MODAAK into an Oompa Loompa is by far one of the weirdest things Marvel could have done. Honestly, the one thing that could have made this better was if he was from Earth 70, which was his age when he was inaugurated, or 58, which is how many floors Trump Tower, New York has. This makeover was taken way too far, even if it is funny as hell, and ironically currently fairly topical, if only AIM in this universe was Ukrainian. Number 9, Lobo. Lobo is a big, whiter than me guy with leather and chains, red eyes, and long hair. So when this beautiful monster was revealed to be an imposter and the real Lobo, who's a skinny but ripped, short-haired dude, was pretty jarring, especially when he kills the Lobo we all knew and loved. DC seemingly wanted to mix things up with the character, but it did not sit well. The best part of this Lobo was when Batman and Superman tracked him down while suspecting he was the killer they were looking for. When Batman realizes that his weapons are not the same as the ones who did the deed, Superman tells him to leave the planet. Lobo obviously responds with "make me," to which Superman punches him so hard he rockets out of Earth's orbit. This Lobo was one of the King's guards on the planet Zarnia, but the King slowly started to go crazy and poisoned the planet during sacred rituals and would execute people if they tried to escape. Lobo was forced to kill the King, which ended up destroying the planet. I prefer the old Lobo though, the one from the Injustice DLC. Number 8, Loki. We all like memes, right? Typically in the picture variety. Sometimes they become running jokes in the office, other times they die out quickly, but this one has died out long after it should have. The low-key Loki shirt is honestly my death of Superman. This shirt makes me so unbelievably mad. Like, okay, for a few pages or panels it's funny, but keeping it around? What the hell? I understand you're making Loki hot again by trying to make him appeal to younger audiences and bringing up the hype for the Loki Disney Plus show, but come on! Even with this thing, I'm not hearing anyone call Loki hot anymore. This just honestly frustrates me to an ungodly end. Kill it. Let it die. Please. Number 7, the Lizard. So, the Lizard. In the Shed comics of The Amazing Spider-Man, the Lizard goes hard. Not only does he look more lizard-like, but several colors depict the Spider-Man suit on or around the Lizard. Kirk Connors is working to suppress his lizard mind while working a new job, being verbally abused by his boss, all while the boss is also hitting on Kurt's hot assistant. Well, eventually, as expected, he goes berserk and kills a bunch of people, and then goes after his son, only turning back into a human when he hears the cries of his son. But the Craven family ruins everything and causes him to turn into a lizard again, so he catches up with his son, and Spidey isn't there. So instead of turning back once more, Kurt eats him. Curtis Connors eats his son. Even Connors is screaming at himself in his head, pleading for his lizard half not to do it, but he can't stop it. This is horrific, and is really something that they don't show in comics too often. Dead children are sometimes rare to find in comics, but eating your own son is even rarer. No steak pun intended. Number 6, Susan Storm. Malice is the manifestation of the dark side of the Invisible Woman. She was first brought to life by the Psycho Man's hate month during an attack on New York City. As Malice, Sue was forced to attack the rest of the Fantastic Four until Reed Richards used mind tricks to force Sue's personality out. Sometime later, Sue and her husband went out with the Silver Surfer on a mission to recover the Infinity Gems. Malice began resurging. Malice wanted the Soul Stone for herself, but was defeated when she had the Soul Stone in her possession, allowing Sue's personality to regain control. While the whole inner struggle thing is relatable, it's not on this level. The superheroes having an evil version of themselves is honestly overdone in my opinion. If you want an evil version of your character, you have literally a multiverse where you can bring in whoever you want. While yes, it may be more interesting like this at first, if you do it over and over again in the same way, the inner conflict kind of loses its impact. Not to mention that she dresses very provocatively. Halfway through at number 5, Dr. Doom. After making a bargain with the Hazareth 3, Dr. Doom must sacrifice something irreplaceable in order to obtain his mystic armor. So he chooses to sacrifice the only woman he had ever loved, Valeera. He appeared in front of her, killed her, and then transformed her skin into the leather used in his armor. This is like some Buffalo Bill mentality you got going on. You made a suit out of the skin of your dead true love after you killed her? What on earth made you think this was okay? Who approved this? I guess it makes sense that the armor appeared in Fantastic Four Unthinkable, both the prologue and part 3, because my mind is absolutely boggled at this point. Who? What? When? Where? Why? How? But mostly, why? Mark Waid and Mike Ruingo, you are the pair that came up with this idea, but like, why? 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 That's the burning question. So if you're as curious as me, let's send this video to them on Twitter and get some answers. The people want to know! Number 4, Green Goblin. Norman Osborn from Earth 1610 was trying to perfect a super soldier drug for S.H.I.E.L.D. After Peter Parker gets his powers from an OZ injected spider, Norman thinks that combining OZ with his own DNA will make a stronger version of himself. While this makes sense, life apparently doesn't work that way and Norman turns into a demon-like beast. In an attempt to destroy his past life, he kills his wife and tries to kill Harry, but Harry manages to escape. This is a far cry from the original Green Goblin design. If you look at the two side by side, you may begin to think that this is honestly fan art. And knowing where fan art goes, you don't want to be around for this thing to eventually become anatomically correct. Rule 34, am I right? This version of Norman also appears in the Ultimate Spider-Man animated series, where he had killed Peter Parker and later becomes a member of the Sinister Seven. This guy has freaking wings, for God's sake, not to mention the spikes coming out of his shoulders, like spiky shoulder pads. The most accurate description I've heard is that one of his alternate names from the show is Ugly. Ow. Number 3, Lex Luthor. When DC announced the Year of the Villain, they said a lot of major changes were coming, but Lex Luthor becoming stronger due to his own death is not what I expected. Year of the Villain sees Lex Luthor taking over the White House, colluding with Brainiac and extracting key data from Amanda Waller. Hopefully not in really creepy and sweaty kissing scenes, because I still can't even get that out of my head. He's also given money to DC's major villains so they can level up and take down the heroes who've been stopping them for years. When Lex returns to his tower, Captain Atom comes to arrest him, but he can't when Lex blows himself up before he can be arrested. But after this, he becomes Apex Lex. Oh god. A predator unlike anything we've ever seen. No robotic suit because he's the cosmic herald of Perpetua. The comic even teases a Martian Lex hybrid in its appendix. This guy doesn't look like he can be stopped, but he also looks, in my opinion, ridiculous. I honestly wish this guy stayed a shadow. He looks like he's gone through a really rough breakup, lost everything, and blew all his money on some high potency crack. Veins for days. Number 2, Solomon Grundy. The Arrowverse version of Solomon Grundy is a far cry from the Grundy we know and love. This was due to Arrow's attempt to not be too outlandish with its villains. However, the first introduction of Cyrus's powers was the same episode Arrow became the Arrowverse and introduced Barry Allen. Cyrus Gold stole an industrial centrifuge from Queen Consolidated, and Barry came to investigate because he's been looking for the man who killed his mother for his whole life. With the fact that you're introducing a character that will, at the end of the next episode, be struck by lightning and gain super speed, you really can't bring this character back as the zombie he should be. With Arrow going into its final season and The Flash already having Grodd, I don't think we will be seeing this character anytime soon, but perhaps we will. The latest trailer for Arrow Season 8 makes it look like Oliver will be going back to key moments in his past, and that will involve him going back to Season 2 where this all went down. Do you think we will see Solomon Grundy's zombie form in Arrow Season 8 or the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover? Let me know in those comments. Finally, taking our number 1 spot, the Joker's daughter. When I say the Joker, what do you think of? The Joker we all know and love? The fact that according to the Mobius chair there's 3 of them? Or the fact that some girl ran around wearing Joker-inspired apparel? In the New 52 era, Joker's daughter got a terribly horrific makeover in comparison to her original counterpart. At the end of the epic Batman story A Death of the Family, the Joker and his cut-off face fall into the abyss of the Batcave, and his severed face washes into the Gotham sewers. Don't drink the water. A psychotic young woman living in the sewers finds it and starts wearing it as her own, claiming to be the Joker's daughter. She launches a murderous crime spree in the hopes of attracting her father's attention and encounters the doll maker. He gives her a transfusion of the Joker's blood because apparently he just has psycho blood lying around his office, and then he sews Joker's severed face onto this crazy woman who claims to be his daughter. Look, if you have a severed face of a criminal and the biggest adversary to Batman, and you have sewn it onto your actual face, what the actual hell? I can't. I just can't anymore. Well, that's it for this list of the top 10 supervillain makeovers. That went too far. What is the scariest villain makeover in your opinion? What makeover should I include if we do a part 2? Let me know in the comments. And while you're on your way down there, do everyone a favor and hit like and subscribe for daily nerdy content and ring the notification bell so you never miss an upload. While all that's going on, I'll read some comments from top 10 superhero movies you didn't know existed. Amrit Mishra said, "Why do you look one with the background?" Because of my tender Irish-Scottish complexion. And no matter what I do, I can't tan. I swear, no matter what I try, nothing. Never seems to work out. Das Wolfen said, 1. An unmade movie is cheating. 2. There are tons of non-MCU movies. There is the 90s Captain America, Mystery Men, and tons others. 1. No, it's not cheating because you never knew it existed. And title didn't say it needed to be made. 2. I never said there weren't any non-MCU movies. I said I'd like to think that all the older ones are in another universe, or on another Earth, like how the MCU is on Earth 199999. So chill. If you made it to the end of the video, comment, I don't know, Febreze, and I'll respond to comments. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video. That was a really rough outro.